Hi, Seth Gardner. This video I wanted to talk about the internet. So, does the internet really exist? And what I mean by that is, how do you connect to the internet? Like, is it connecting in the manner that we're taught? Like they say there are all these servers that connect all around the world and everything. Is that just to I don't know, as a flat earther, that makes me wonder, is it just to push like the globe model, like to make people think it's a globe and try to hide that it's flat? Because I definitely know it's flat now, and I've known for several years now. So when you think about it, like how do you connect your computer or laptop or phone, iPhone, smartphone, whatever, to the internet? If it's usually wireless, right? But if you're using a computer or laptop and and you're not using Wi-Fi, if it's not wireless, use a cable. What's that cable called? Well, it's an Ethernet cable. And it makes me wonder, like, are they hiding it in like plain sight, that kind of thing? Like, not the internet, is it the Ethernet? So like ether, it used to be like it was taught that like the ether exists, and it's this like force that's all around us. Like how I talked about before, like the idea of ki or chi in martial arts. They'll talk about that in like Buddhism and Taoism, and or even like prana. That'll be in like that teaching, and other more kind of contemporary notions of like this energy that's all around us. Like I said, that's where they got the idea for the Force from in Star Wars. That they didn't just get that idea from nothing. Like George Lucas based that on like ki and chi, like martial arts and everything, Buddhism and Taoism. So could it be that the ether, which was thought of as like the same thing, could it be that we think we're connecting our computers to the internet through servers, these like cables or whatever that are all over the world? Is that really true, or is that just like a trick where they don't want us to know where it came from? Maybe it's just like they don't want us to know that there's this magical or mystical whatever force all around us. And maybe that's where that's where the internet is, that it's not even the internet, it's actually like the Ethernet. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Like the more I think about that, honestly, I can't say I can prove this one like I can like flat earth. Flat earth is like really easy to prove. It takes time, and like you need to really look into it with like an open mind, but you can prove it. Flat earth is something you can prove to yourself. What I'm saying about the internet not really existing, it's like in the manner we're taught. Like, maybe it's just this magical force that's always existed, that all these cultures talked about, like ki, chi, the ether, all these terms. Maybe that's what it really is, and it's a supernatural force, this paranormal supernatural force. And that, like I said, that's what they based it on in Star Wars, the Force, because it's basically real. It's what they talk about in martial arts and Buddhism and Taoism, and all these other, not just in the East, but like in like ancient like Europe, when they would talk about the ether. So it makes you wonder, maybe that's all it is. Like that's the internet. When we think of as the internet, it's really just, it's connecting to this magical force, the ether, which has gone by wide variety, different names. Maybe that's what it really is. Like, because if you look at these pictures for the internet, the cables, for the servers, how it works, it doesn't make any sense if you look into that. Excuse me. Yeah, so if you look at the pictures of it and everything, like video footage, it's always like the same place they show. It's always like the same couple spots. and maybe even the same like maintenance people or whatever. Like, is there just this one like guy, the internet maintenance guy, who he goes all over the earth whenever there's an outage or a problem with one of the servers? No, it wouldn't make any sense. So why is it always like they show the same couple pictures with the same maintenance guy or couple main guys? It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of these servers, the pictures they'll show, which again, they're always the same couple pictures, but it's supposed to be all over the earth. How would it just be the same couple pictures? There should be like a countless amount of different servers, but it's always the same couple pictures and video like footage you'll see. So yeah, that makes me think like, this doesn't seem right. Yes, F. Gardner is highly suspicious of this, and yeah, I'm inclined to think that, okay, I can't prove this like I can flat Earth, but I think that, yeah, it doesn't make sense in what they're telling us about the internet. Like, they just want to make it seem like, oh, it's this really advanced technological thing, and we have all these cables going all around the world. That's just to probably trick us into thinking the Earth is a globe, which I don't buy. I'm a Buddhist flat earther. I don't believe in that. So these servers, yeah, all the wires and the cables or whatever, they're like underwater a lot of the time. You'll see the same couple pictures. There's like, oh yeah, the servers, they go from beneath the ocean, and it's connecting the servers. Here are the wires, the cables from North America, and it's stretching all the way to Europe or to Asia, whatever. So that seems silly. It seems ridiculous to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, first off, they're wires. Like, it doesn't make any sense because of like electricity and everything. You putting it underwater. And I guess that their argument is like, oh, well, you see these internet cables, they're covered with whatever. It's some made up science term, like this type of metal. So water will be okay and it won't short circuit or whatever, or fry the motherboard or electricity, whatever. They'll have some sort of bullshit, I'm sure, explanation like that. But yeah, I don't buy it. Plus, if it's underwater, if it's in the oceans, how are sharks not just like tearing these apart? Like, the internet would have been destroyed several times over and they would have needed to rebuild it just because of like sharks chewing at the cables and wires for these servers. The sharks aren't going to know, whoa, what the fuck this is. They're going to just chew, they chew everything. And yeah, so it doesn't make sense. Not just sharks, other animals or sea creatures, whatever. Yeah, so the internet, I don't think it exists in the manner they're saying, or the internet as we define it. The internet, it's really, yeah, it's just, I mean, people might say this like, oh, F. Gardner, this sounds crazy or silly, whatever. Like, you're saying it's magic, I guess. Yeah, it's this mystical force, probably, like that. It's the same thing that all these ancient religions talk about and cultures, not even just a religious thing. It used to be accepted that the ether is just like, it's real. Yeah, this is just a fact. Because it is just a fact. And all these other cultures understand. If it's not just a fact, how is it that all these other cultures understood it too? Like the old monks that would practice martial arts, they understood it. They'd call it either ki or chi. It's just, but they're talking about the same thing, this like supernatural, this mystical supernatural force that's everywhere. And that's what they base Star Wars on. And because it's real. Yeah, so that's where it comes from. Like the internet, that's what it really is, I think. So you're not watching this video right now because of some fake cables under the ocean. It doesn't make any sense. That's just one of the many tricks modern science tries to tell us, I think. to try to distract us from flat Earth and other things that are true, like ki, chi, ether, whatever, however you want to call it, or however you want to define it, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. It's this mystical force that we can't explain. But yeah, so it's probably existed, well, for like, I guess forever. Yeah, it's never like stopped really. It's just like that they were probably hiding this technology, or they're masquerading it as like technology when it's really supernatural. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's these scientists would just make things up, and they say, oh, this is new technology we invented, and it's called the internet, and yeah, this is how it works. But it's just, they're lying. They're trying to trick us, because like I said, they don't want us to know the earth is flat and all this other stuff. They don't want us to know it's really just the ether, this magical, mystical energy. And yeah, so it's like always existed. And yeah, they probably had what we're calling internet, like, yeah, they probably had this in like older cultures too, honestly. Excuse me. But they probably like called it different names, like, yeah, because you look at like, sometimes the modern scientists, they'll try to hide certain things, like they'll say like, oh yeah, we found this whatever artifact, but like we can't explain it though. So like there's that, what is it, like the Baghdad battery, that where it's like they found an ancient battery, and the modern science are like, oh yeah, well, we can't explain it though. And then there's like, I forget the name of, there's like this ancient computer. It's like they found a computer, I forget where, but it's like 1,000 or whatever years old, and they're like, oh yeah, this is clearly a computer, but we can't explain it. It's just there. And then they make up like theories. Oh, maybe an alien dropped it or something. Well, it's probably just from like an older or whatever civilization or something like that. And they're just hiding it. They don't want us to know that, yeah, it was probably the computer. They had the internet back then, I'm sure. Why wouldn't they? The ether has always been around. It's not like it was invented. It's always been. So yeah, that's part of it. They may come up with these little tricks and excuses to try to dismiss the supernatural that exists and try to make it seem like, oh no, you should just believe in science. I mean, you can believe whatever you want. I respect whatever you believe. But you want to know F. Gardner's opinion, my real thoughts on it? Yeah, I just, F. Gardner, he tells it like it is. I try to tell people my honest thoughts, and that's what I think. I think the internet, it's really, yeah, it's the ether. It's the Ethernet, more accurately. That would be a more accurate way to put it. And yeah, that's what like all the ancients had and everything. And yeah, it's probably, or most certainly used in the same manner. They probably, yeah, just like, yeah, I always hear like, if they wiped out previous civilizations, like people have probably heard theories about that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, to me, like modern civilization, it's probably not as new as they say it. Like, how old did they say mankind is? I forget. But we could just be, who knows, a couple hundred years, and then like every couple hundred years, they just like refresh everything and reset everything. And that these older civilizations probably had the same, what we're understanding as technology, but it's not really technology. It's the ether or ki, chi, and yeah, they have technological devices that can like tap into it, like how your computer can tap into it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's tapping into these servers with these underwater cables. Because think about how silly that is. It doesn't make any sense. How would that work with the electricity and the sharks? It would be so tangled too, and everything, if it would really work like that, all the different continents and everything. Yeah, how would that work? Plus, technology is always like changing. and evolving. And again, I always use the word evolving very loosely. I use that word figuratively because I don't believe in evolution since I'm a Buddhist flat earther. It surprises people that they're a Buddhist flat earther sometimes, but no, I'm a Buddhist flat earther, and yeah, so I don't believe in evolution. I'm using that word figuratively. So when I say technology is always evolving, improving, so yeah, they would need to replace all the servers and the wires and cables, and they're underwater, stretching across different continents. It wouldn't make any sense. And it's always the same couple pictures you see and the same couple maintenance guys or whatever. Yes, this also, it seems, so I can't prove it, what I'm saying, in the same way I can easily prove flat earth, but everything I'm saying makes sense, right? I didn't say anything that doesn't necessarily make sense. It makes perfect sense. It's contrary to what modern science says, but modern science just makes shit up though. People don't want to admit that a lot of the time. But I respect if they believe in modern science, they're entitled to. Like, it's a free country where I live, so you want to believe in science. Yeah, man, you believe whatever you want, and you have F. Gardner's respect. I'm not saying any of this to try to disrespect people if that, just because I might disagree with what they believe. So, but yeah, I don't buy it. Just personally, and when the way they describe the internet, it just sounds like, no, this is like just this supernatural, mystical thing that's always existed. So, but if you feel otherwise, let me know. Let F. Gardner know. Leave a comment down below, and click subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, hope you guys like this video.